hashtags. Come on, folk artists. We're homespun. We don't use hashtags. Gotta be kidding me. I'm not putting a hashtag next to my major chord. Need to practice a little bit up on my own arrangement, but getting there. Let's learn it together, y'all. Mike's music method. Come on in, everybody. Today, I'm excited to bring you something a little bit different. We are going to do Frank Sinatra's Fly Me to the Moon. Not really Sinatra's, but popularized by Frank Sinatra. Jazz standard, everyone does it. I am not a fantastic jazz player. If you guys want an unbelievable version of this song, check out this guy's video over here. That's some jazz playing. But I did want to bring you guys a kind of like a jazz standard, so we could talk about chords in different places on the neck. If you're a total beginner, don't watch this video. Go watch, some other videos in my flat picking playlist or in the Travis picking playlist, which try to put both those up there, and links always down below, or just click on the playlist. So go through by songs. This is going to be a little harder, but it's really cool finger picking. We're going to do chord shapes up the neck, and this will get you thinking a little more freely, like how do I take an existing melody and fit it to a song? And when you're doing pop songs, it's not always going to be super simple open chords. You're occasionally going to have to voice a chord a little bit different to get the melody. If you want a beginner one, I did do, now that I'm thinking about it, Silent Night. And I kind of showed you a couple different ways to finger pick through, you apply the chord with your thumb and you do the melody with the other fingers. So start there. This one's a little harder, but if you guys are ready for it, let's do it. It's just a classic jazz standard. I don't get too crazy with it. Chords are pretty straightforward as far as jazz chords are concerned, but if you're not used to bar chords and at all, then you might not want to start here. But if you got bar chords under your belt, we're doing some seventh chords, and I think then this transition, you're in the right moment for it. Let's just get started, and you'll see for yourself. Pew! All right, measure one. I'm keeping the mic close today because I was kind of doing a lot of this in the last video, and I'm sure it might have been annoying. It's probably annoying that it's in my face, but now I'm nice and present in your nice earbuds tickling your inner, what do they call those things? Ventricular system. So we got an A minor chord. You want to think about this as your minor shape, which is open, 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 2. And so we're just going to move that idea up, right? This would be F minor, F sharp, G. So we got that shape, that E minor shape, but we're just moving it up the neck. Here, E minor. And E minor 7 would be, you're even getting rid of that. So I guess it's not really an E minor 7, but I'm putting the minor 7 on the top. So anyways, we got 5, 5, 5. 7 is how I'm voicing that. My thumb's just going back and forth between 5 and 4. So now we're going to put the melody notes in. My pinky's down on the 8th fret, and I'm pinching 5 and 1. There I'm using my thumb and middle. So A and E string, pinky's down on the 8th fret, pinching 5th string and 1st. Then I've got another pinch. I'm going to pinch the 4th and the 1st, but I've got to slide that pinky down to the 7th fret. So pinky slides down 5 and 1, 4 and 1. Then I lift the pinky and do 5 and 1 again, but now I'm sounding the 5th fret there, right? I've lifted everything up, so it's just that bar. Then right after that third pinch on 5 and 1, I put my pinky down on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. 3, 4, pinky down, lift the pinky, the pinky moves there, and then it's just thumb alone on the 4th string, so 3, 4, fly me to Measure 2 is a D minor 7. Just think of your A minor chord. We're moving it up with the bar. And then you're lifting your pinky to make that D minor a D minor 7. And here, I'll play the measure once. So I'm pinching 5 and 2 with thumb and pointer. Then my thumb's alone on 4. Then I'm going to quickly hit the second string. My pinky's going to go down on the 8th fret. So 5 and 2, thumb alone, pinky goes down, hit the 8th fret of the second string. 5, 2, 4, 2. Then the second half of the measure, I'm pinching 5 and 1. And then my pinky moves down to 8 on the first string. Then thumb's alone on 4. So 5 and 1, pinky goes down, 1 again, then the 4th string. So 3, 4. One more time. And think about which, if you're going to use pointer or middle for those melodic notes, because your melody is So just practice that. Are you going to do pointer, middle, pointer, middle, or are you going to do pointer, pointer, middle, pointer? Pick one and be consistent. In my opinion, it's pretty darn fast, and I'd alternate those fingers instead of trying to do them like all with the pointer or something. You could, but I just don't have that reaction time. I know Merle Travis does. Super ridiculously fast pointer finger. Same with John Hurt, but I don't. I'm merely man, so I alternate. Measure 3, a G7 chord. Now, I love this voicing. I use this voicing all the time when I'm just doing like, when I'm not playing solo, if I'm in like a band setting, I just love this G7 voicing. It's basically this D7, right, 2, 1, 2, but you move it up like this. Gotta put that there, right, because we don't have open anymore. So a lot of these are open chord voicings, but you're, instead of doing it with these fingers, you gotta free up your first finger, because when you move it, right now we have the F7, F sharp 7, G7, or sorry, I'm naming them wrong, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. So we're here, 5 on the 4th string, then going down at 7, 6, 7. That's the chord shape. I know the tab looks different because we do a lot more kind of melody runs within it, but that's what we got. So from the ground up, I'll do a backwards 7 with the pinky, then the 6th fret with my middle. Ring finger does another 7, and then 5 with my pointer. Cool little dominant 7 shape. And the measure is this. There we go. I like it. All right, so we're pinching 4 and 1. Then I do the 3rd string alone. Then on the and beat, I'm lifting my pinky and hitting the top string. And it's going to sound the 5th fret there because I've lifted my pinky. So pinch, thumb alone, lift the pinky, and do the 1st string. Second half of the measure, I'm pinching 4 and 2, but I got to get my pinky down to the 8th fret on that 2nd string. Hitting 4 and 2 with that pinky there. Then I lift it up right away, and there I'm alternating as well, whether it's middle pointer or pointer middle. I don't know where I'm coming from. There's always so many different ways to do it, but just know I'm alternating the fingers. So I'm pinching, and then I lift the pinky, and it's going to sound 6. Then it's just the thumb alone on the 3rd string. It's the second half of the measure. So that whole measure together, 3, 4. Measure 4, we have a quicker chord change, but less fancy picking. We've got a C major 7. A lot of people don't know this shape, but you can play an A major 7 just like this. And you move that up. So here we've got 3rd fret, and then the power chord with the ring finger there. So 3, 5, and then 4 with my middle finger. That's our major 7 interval. Then pinky down on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. And if you want to bar that first finger to get the top one, you can, but you don't have to. And we're pinching 5, 2, and 5, 3, and 2. So B, G, and A I'm pinching. Then my thumb's alone on the 4th string. And then right away, so let's start. We got that. That's the beginning. Pinch, and then thumb alone. And then right after that thumb alone, I'm lifting my middle finger. And that makes it a dominant 7 chord. So now it's C7 instead of major 7. So we've got pinch, thumb on 4th, lift the middle finger, pinch 2 and 3 again. Then it's just thumb alone on 5th and thumb alone on 4th. So the whole measure, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Let's put all 4 together real slow. From that A minor, measure 1, 2, 3, 4. Measure 5, which is an F, that kind of becomes the major 7 chord. So here we have the C shape. This is a weird one to move up, even though I do it all the time. You got to start with your pinky and play a C chord. Basically, all these chords are just freeing up your first finger. And now, that's a movable shape. All the way to F, which is the 8th fret. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of relaxing it a little bit. We're not gonna be playing the 5th string. I'm doing it higher, so I'm just getting rid of the pinky, and that makes it way easier to kind of reach. And in other instances when I play this chord, I often don't bar it if I'm just using the middle ones. For me, it's easier to reach to do the fingertips as opposed to trying to get that bar. I don't have to like make sure my elbow and wrist are in like this perfect position. I can just kind of grab it like that. But anyways, we don't need the pinky, so don't worry about that. I've just got this. So from the ground up, it's 5, then 6, then 5, then 7. And here's the measure. Oops, sorry. So let's play it. We've got a pinch on 4 and 1. And then right off the bat, I've got to snag the melody note. And that's the 8th fret, so that note's out of the chord, right? But it's the melody note. So I'm putting my pinky down, 8th fret on the 2nd string. Pinching 4 and 1, then pinching 3 and 2. Then I lift that pinky to go back to the chord tone, the 6th fret, and I pinch 4 and 2. Then I immediately lift, because the melody descends, I lift my middle finger. Right, and then I lift it up. So it's 2nd string again, but lifted. And then the thumb alone on the 3rd string. So that whole measure, 3, 4, pinky down, pinky up, middle finger up. A B diminished 7 is the next chord here in measure 6. And we got some cool movement. I kind of added a fun little slide. It reminds me of John Hurt. He always does that move. Not on a diminished chord, but... So let's do it. We've got a B diminished. You play it this way, but because we're not playing all the strings, I'm doing it a bit different. So I've got the 2nd fret here with my middle finger on the A string, then the 3rd fret with my ring finger on the D string, then my pinky skips to the B string or the 2nd string, 3rd fret. So it's 2, 3, nothing, 3, and then that's it. And because the rest will be moving to do chord tones. So let's do the first half of this measure. I'm pinching 5 and 2. Pointer and thumb, and then immediately hitting open on that 1st string, then thumbs alone on the 4th string. And then right after that, I'm putting my 1st finger down on the 1st string, and I'm picking that with my middle. So it's thumb and pointer, middle finger, thumb, back to the middle. So first half of the measure there. So get that down. 3, 4. Then after we got that, it gets goofy. We go back to the 5th string. My wife's calling me. I think I'll remember where I'm at. Hello, beautiful lady. Second half of measure 6 after my lovely phone call. Where are we at? It's pretty cool. So we're just hitting we had this. So we're just hitting the 5th string. You can kind of almost release the chord here. It's 5th string, and then my pinky's going to the 1st string on the 3rd fret. And then you slide that 3 up to a 5, so it's 2nd fret on the 5th string, 3rd fret on the 1st. That slides, but not only does it slide, right as you slide, when you get to the top note, you're hitting the 4th string open. And again, I'm not re-strumming the top one, it's simply a slide, and I'm sounding the 4th string with it. Oops, sorry. 1, 2, and 1, and 3. Sorry, 3 and 4, 3 and 4, 3 and 4. And then when we put that whole measure together, 3, 4. 3, 4. Measure 7. This is cool too. We've got an E7 flat 9. Don't let the flat 9 scare you. I tell all my students, you can always ignore the numbers if you want to. It doesn't sound bad if you ignore the numbers, and especially the higher the number goes, you know, just then definitely ignore it. You know, once you get to a 13 and they put a symbol next to the 13, ignore it all. It's not a folk sound anyways, you know what I mean? So just ignore it unless you're a jazz player. Who cares about their flat 9s, right? As long as we're playing a major chord, they can do whatever with their 9s and 10s and 11s and hashtags. Come on, folk artists, we're homespun. We don't use hashtags. Gotta be kidding me. I'm not putting a hashtag next to my major chord. All right, this actually is probably the hardest measure of the song, one of them at least. We're at measure 7, the E7 flat 9. We've got open, we're going to be in open, nothing on the 5th string. Then we've got the 6th fret here on the 4th string. Then we're going to do the 7th fret on the G string, the 3rd string. So I got 6 with my middle, 7 with my ring. Then my pinky's going to move around. So these are your two kind of anchors, and then the rest of it's kind of melodic movement. So we got that 6, 7. We're going to start with a pinky on 8. So you got a little staircase there, 6, 7, 8. And the thumb's just going back and forth between the E and the D string, 6 and 4. So we got 1, 2, and that and is the 8th fret on the B string. Back to the 6th string. Then I lift the pinky and my pointer finger goes to the 6th fret on that B string, on that 2nd string. 6, 4, 2, 6, 2, but I lift the pinky. Pretty dissonant, but cool. Then that pointer finger goes down again, and I'm pinching those two strings, the 4th and the 2nd string, sounding 6 and 5. And then my thumb's alone on the 3rd string. So the second half of the measure, sorry. 6th string, 2nd is the 6th fret, move it down, the pointer goes down to the 5th, I pinch those two, 4 and 2, and then it's the pointer finger on the 3rd string alone. Why is that one confusing? Just the shape is awkward, I think. Having to like tuck that pointer finger underneath is awkward. So go real slow. That chord shape might feel super awkward for you. And let's do the whole measure now. 3, 4. Tricky little measure. Remember, posture. I should be sitting a little better. Elevate that guitar at least this high, and it's going to make it easier to kind of fit in there. I'm kind of like sitting awkwardly to get a better camera angle, but you know, proper posture goes a really long way. So do it, all right? Don't ignore that. it's so much easier. It's so much easier when you sit properly. But I suffer for you guys to give you this camera angle of, you know, this giant microphone. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for thinking of us. Measure 8. Guys, we're cruising through this. You're sounding good. We go back to that A minor 7 idea. It's a little bit different. Instead of doing 5, 5, 5, 7, we're just going to highlight the minor 7 down here, the flat 7. So I'm just doing 5, 5, 5 on the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th string. Just barring those 3. That's it. That's the first. We'll play the whole measure. So it goes from an A minor 7 to an A dominant 7. It's a cool change. Thumb on 5, pinching 2 and 3, thumb on 4. Then I pinch, well, then I put my middle finger down on the 6th fret of the 3rd string, and I pinch again. Well, not again, but I'm pinching 5, 3, and 2. Then thumbs alone on 4. So the whole measure, 3, 4. Finger goes down. So let's do that new stuff, 5 to 8 together, nice and slow. Find your chord, your F major 7, 2, 3, 4. Now I so know some of those chord shapes are going to be hard to jump to. And one thing you can do is just kind of go real slow, see where you're coming out of. Right, we're ending that measure 5 here and that F major 7, and then we're jumping to here. So what I would do is just kind of isolate that and make sure you're doing it. Right, I'm going from here to middle pinky here. And then this one, I'm thinking of my anchor, or those two. I don't know what chord that looks like. Sometimes it's helpful to frame them, to think of chords that you already know how to play. I know they're higher on the neck. But when are you doing that move? I guess in like a D minor, right? You do 2, 3, 1, but we're doing it on a different string set. Just to get that general shape in your mind so your brain knows how to do it. Don't think like, oh, this is some weird foreign chord. No, you're just playing the 2 notes of like a D minor, but on a different part of the neck. And then you'll move them around. So I hope that's helpful. Let's keep going. So measure 9 is just a D minor, 5th fret bar chord here. Only thing I'm doing is, I'm not just starting here, I also have my pointer finger up on the 6th string, because we're going to get that low bass note. Our thumb's going to do 5, 4, 6, 4. So we got that 5th in the bass there. And I'm pinching 5 and 3, immediately hitting the 1st string with my middle. Then thumbs alone on 4, and then right back to that high string with my middle. Pinch, middle, thumb, middle. Then it ends 6, 4, just thumb to thumb. 3, 4. Measure 10, we go back to that G7 shape, which is pretty cool, that one I like. 5, 7, 6, 7. And here we got a triplet on the 2nd beat. Don't let it confuse you. Great little sound. One more thing to note here, we're going from 5 to 5. Now you can bar those, or you can move that finger as you do it. It's up to you. I would bar it, it seems a bit easier. So we've got 4th string here. Then I'm rolling this chord. I'm actually going to bring my pinky out here to the 8th fret on that high string for the first melody note here. But we got 4, then I'm using my thumb again on 3, pointer on 2, middle on 1. So we're kind of rolling. If you've watched any of the Leonard Cohen tutorials I did, the Partisan and the Stranger song, crazy, where he does that like the entire song. Great little skill to have. And I talk about technique in those videos. I'm not going to do that here, plus it's not like we're playing it that fast in this song. So got thumb on 4, thumb on 3, then pointer, middle, and I hit that 8th fret there. Then the thumb goes down to the 5th string, where I'm barring or moving that finger up. And then I move the pinky back down to the 7th fret, and I pinch 3 and 1 there at the end. So not that hard of a measure. I just noticed that I could play it cleaner because you want that pinky to sing until you move it at the last possible moment. Move the pinky now, only when you do that pinch at the end. That way it sings and you're not moving it too soon. We're starting ending 1 before we repeat. And it's quite a few measures of the first ending here. We start in measure 11. It's an E minor 7. Just playing the E minor, and then you're adding the pinky on the top string, 3rd fret. Or I suppose you could do different fingers, whatever works. And pinching 6, 2, and 1, all in one big pinch. Then I'm doing the 4th string with my thumb, 5th string, and then the 4th. So pretty sparse measure there. That's it. Then to an A7. And the way I'm doing that, just a normal A7, but I'm pinching 5, 3, and 2. Then thumb on the 4th string, thumb on the 6th. So then I move my whole hand, and I'm hitting the 4th fret of the 3rd string. It's a melody note. I mean, I suppose I could keep another bass note, but it sounds fine like this. Just to hit the solo melody note there, and it leads, walks right into the other chord. So I know it's on a downbeat, and we could add a bass note with it, but because we're transitioning the chord, it's fine. It sounds loose. It sounds sparse. And so we do that 4th fret on the 3rd string, and then it takes us right into a D minor chord. So if you want, you could bar that note we just played. So it looks like this, 3, 4. And the reason I'm barring it is because I'm going to move it up and go right into the next D minor chord here. So measure 13, let's do it. Actually, D minor 7. So my pinky's lifted, pinching 4 and 3. Sorry, 5 and 3. Then 2nd string with my middle finger. Thumb goes to 4, back to the 2nd string. So that's the beginning, 3, 4. But then the measure ends, just going from 6 to 4. So easy enough. One more time, play with me. One more. Then measure 14, back to the G7. That same voicing, 5, 7, 6, 7, yet again. But I believe it starts off with your pinky lifted because we're going to have that 5th fret to sound the melody at the beginning. And again, I'm barring 5 and 5 there, so I can do that walking bass. Thumb on 4, thumb on 3, then immediately hit the 1st string. But remember your pinky's lifted, so it's open. Then to the 5th string with the thumb. Then my pinky does some work by going to the 8th fret of the 2nd string. Then thumb alone on 3. So 3, 4. Pretty little measure. Measure 15, let's keep going. We've got a C major 11. I know I told you to ignore the numbers. Usually you can, but we're being specific here. We're learning it. We're getting jazzy. We got that C major 7 again. 3 on the A string. 5, 4, 5. But the 11 is bringing that pinky up to the 6th fret. Ooh, nice kind of dissonant, dreamy sound. And what I'm doing is my pinky's on that 6th fret to begin with. I'm pinching 5, 3 and 2. Thumb alone on the 4th string. Then I tuck that pinky in and hit 2 and 3 again. Then I do 5th string, 4th string. So pinch, thumb, and tuck the pinky. Pinch, thumb, pinch. One more. Measure 16. Let's do it, and then take a break and stretch yourself out here. This one's kind of cool because there's a B minor, and then we're going to the E7 chord on the and beat of the B minor. So we got this cool little anticipatory beat. Is that a word? Anticipation? Anticipatory? Sounds cool, anticipatory. I sound smart, don't I? So I'm doing this B minor like this, 2, with my middle finger, nothing, 2, 3. So it's a B minor 7 because we have the A in there. 2, nothing, 2, 3. Frees up my pointer finger. And I'm pinching 5, 2, and 3. Then hitting open on the 4th string. Then the and beat is actually the E7 chord. And I voiced the B minor like that because we're going to this E7, which is like that, but we're... So let me pinch, then open. Then I'm lifting my ring finger and putting my pointer finger down on the 1st fret of that 3rd string. And I'm pinching those 2. I'm pinching 2 and 3, and it's only sounding 1st fret, 3rd fret. And remember my, well, I guess my finger wasn't there, so let me explain this even more. Yeah, when I do that, I'm also moving my middle finger to the 2nd fret of the D string, the 4th string. So I'm pinching those 2, hitting 6, and then I'm putting that middle finger on the 2nd fret of the D string. So you don't have to do it right away. You could just do the beginning of that chord, and then I'm adding the middle finger at the end. Pretty hard measure. It's just different. It's not like super crazy difficult, but it is kind of novel. So I got the B minor, pinching, thumbs open, lift that ring. You can actually lift all of it except the pinky. Maybe that's an easier way to think about it. And I'm just doing that. So I'm lifting all of them and getting that pointer finger there. And then 6th string. Then I'm adding the middle finger down to the 2nd fret of the 4th string. Real slow. 3, 4. 3, 4. Do that one real slow. Make sure you got the chord. Right when I hit that open string, I'm lifting everything except the pinky. Getting that pointer finger down. 6th string, then I'm getting the middle finger down. Yeah, you can do it. Remember, if at any time you get confused in probably my last 20 or 30 videos on this channel, the timestamps down below will take you to slow run-throughs at the end. So if you're feeling like, man, I'm getting lost in the measure-by-measure minutia, simply jump to the end of these videos and you'll hear the whole thing in context with slow run-throughs. So whenever you need to do that, please do that and then jump back to where you were. Let's take it from measure 11, ending 1. We'll just review all of that, and then we'll talk about the 2nd ending and get to those slow run-throughs. So let's do that. From 11, the E minor chord, 3, 4. Move the whole chord. Farted that note out. I think you guys got the idea. I forgot to do the bar. That was my problem. And then here I'm kind of sliding into that from that G7 in measure 14. I'm letting that pinky slide from the 8 to the 6 in that C major 11. Just as a cooler sound. Yeah. Let's do the 2nd ending. We're at measure 17 in your tab. Free tab, mikesmusicmethod.com. Have I said that yet in the video? All free to download. Unbelievable. What a gent. What a guy. All right. We're still at E minor, but I added a cool little bass walk, and it's harmonized in 3rds or 6th or however you want to think about it. So we've got that E minor 7. We're just pinching 6, 1, and 2. And I'm just doing the 3rd fret on that high E. And then the walk starts here. I've got 2 and 2 on the, so we got an F sharp and an A. 2nd fret on the 6th string, 2nd fret on the 3rd string. And that gives us a 3rd, minor 3rd, major 6, however you want to think about it. Then we walk up 3 and 3, 4 and 4. That's it. You want to get a really clean E minor and still let that B ring if you can. And I hit it with my finger, so that 2nd string should be ringing out. makes it a little more kind of twangy and dissonant. So that's measure 17, just walking up 2s, 3s, and 4s. I don't know if you guys can get a good angle of that, right? 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. And then I do a similar idea on an A7, but I only need that top one because I'm just going to pinch 5, 3, and 2. And implying the whole A7, but I don't need that finger. Then I'm going to walk up 2 and 3. 2's on the A string, 3's on the D string. So pinch all of them, then it's just 5 and 2. Move that up again, so it's frets 3 and 4, and then 4 and 5. And it's all, this one's cooler too if you let that open G ring out from the first hit. So all together from 17 so far, 3, 4. Not playing super crisp today, but you guys get the idea. Let's do 19 as a D minor 7 again. Yeah, you kind of have to prepare for these low notes before you do the chord, or you kind of get stuck. So on this one, I'm barring the entire chord, including that 6th string, because my thumb's going to do 5, 4, 6, 4. I'm pinching 5 and 1, then immediately, and it's a D minor 7, so the pinky is up. So pinch 5 and 1. Then my pointer finger is hitting the 3rd string. Then my thumb's on the 4th and right back to the 3rd. And then it's 6, 4. Then let's keep going. Measure 20. We have a G7 sus4. Don't worry about what it means. Just follow the tab for now. This is not a theory lesson. I've got 3, 3, 5. That's all I'm doing for my chord. So 3rd fret, nothing. 3rd fret, but it's barred. Then the 5th fret with my ring finger, and that's going to become the 4th fret in a second on the 3rd string. That's it. We don't need the top 2 strings. So thumb on 6, sounding the 3rd fret. Thumb on 4, sounding the 3rd fret. Then immediately hitting the 3rd string, and that's going to be the 5th fret. Then back to 6, then back to the 3rd string with my pointer, and I'm going to move that to the 4th fret, and then the thumb finishes on the 4th string. 3, 4. Measure 21, it's a C6 chord. You do that by just smashing all these 5th frets. You've got the C here, and then bar all those other 5s if you can. And I'm pinching 5, 3, and 1. And then I'm just walking the bass. 4, 5, 4. And then we've seen this ending before. In 22, that's a B minor chord to the E7. Same turnaround. And guys, that's the entire song. We'll play it through in a second with the exception of the ending. I kind of end it on this weird C7, 9 chord. Just because you sound super sophisticated when you do it. So we got 3rd fret on the A string with your middle finger. Then pinky, it's a big stretch. So 3, 5. Then I'm doing 2 on the 3rd string with my pointer. 3, 5, 2, open. I missed it. Then open, open. What, C major 13? I can't think. Yeah, she's got the 9 and then the A in there too. Or the 7 and then the A. 13. So that'll be the ending, which will just replace that previous C6 in measure 21. You did it. How do you feel? Stretch it out. Take a break. Even if you do like 4 measures at a time, I know this is like a different kind of picking. And for some people, you're just going to go, it's not Townes Van Zandt. And that's fine. But for others of you out there, if you made it this far in the video, obviously you think it's pretty cool and you can see the application to, thousands of other songs in terms of like, oh yeah, I could use some of these chord shapes, imply the melody around them, and really start using all of the neck. And if you guys are really into this, comment below. I'm happy to like go through the more kind of like theoretical aspects of it. I do have that playlist. What's it called? How to get better at the guitar. How to get better at guitar. So that playlist will talk you through some of these basic caged shapes. I haven't really done a video on 7th chords yet. I plan on getting there. And that's it. Let's do some slow run throughs. You guys got it. 2, 3, 4. Sorry, I missed that. It's funny how I like to play it slower when you've only been playing it fast. It's a real trip. It can be harder to do. So that's the first ending. We'd go back to the beginning, and for practice, let's just do it. And then again, look in your tab, right at measure 11. Instead of doing 11, we're going to jump to 17. So 1 through 10, and then jump to 17. 2, 3, 4. It's hard to keep it slow. One more time, and instead of doing 21, we would just hit that ending chord. So let's do it. More practice. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we all need to work on it, but that's it, guys. Boom. Well done. Congratulations. Catch you all next time. Peace. Hashtags. Come on, folk artists. We're homespun. We don't use hashtags. Gotta be kidding me. I'm not putting a hashtag next to my major chord.